Okay, this is part 2 for Justin Truedummy. Truedummy part 2. Now, when I left on the end of part 1, I was going to be talking about immigrants, terrorists, and stuff like that. So we'll start off with the immigrants. Since they've been coming over to our country, yes, I say our country, not your country, our country. Now, since they've been coming, let's see, we've had honor killings. We never had them before till they started coming here, you see. And that was a mistake letting them in the door now, wasn't it? Now, let's see, then there was all those terrorists that tried to blow up train tracks or trains and stuff between Montreal and Toronto, Toronto and New York. The plots to, what was it again? They were going to blow up the CN Tower at one point in time. That idiot in Strathroy, Evan Driver, whatever his name was, gonna blow up a mall, but he wasn't a ISIS person. He was a sympathizer. And now let's go back to that Omar, whatever that idiot's name is, the one you had your lips securely glued to his ass, French kissing his ass, had your tongue wrapped around his colon because you thought his rights were whatever. You worry about his rights. You give him $10.5 million. And that's that. That's for what? He's a convicted and self-admitted terrorist. And you give him $10.5 million. Now, you tried to hide that one guy for about 6 or 8 months or whatever it was. The one that walked in that interview on Parliament Hill. Now, there's another one. He's about to try and sue Canada. I'll put a picture of him up here in a second. So there's the honor killing, the terrorists. Then there was, look at that other idiot. He's a Muslim. He wanted to, what was it? He wanted to take rape out of the criminal code. He wanted to take it out. Now, let me see. Muslims believe it's legal and okay to rape anything and anybody they want. Be it a little girl, be it a little boy, be it an animal. They don't care. As long as they're getting their rock off, their noodle wet. They don't care. Now, I can prove that simply. There was a guy, a Muslim. He immigrated into the UK somewhere. I think it was England. He got caught raping a 13-year-old girl, and in court he said, it's not against the law in my religion, my country. He didn't think it was against the law. So I guess putting a bullet in his brain ain't against the law either. That son of a bitch should have been killed right then and there. Never mind court case for him. That idiot. He should have been killed. Now, so there's an idea what Muslims believe in. Now you see, Islam, it's a fake religion, and I'll prove that real quick. It's simple to prove too, because Islam, if you understand the religion at all, it's all based generally towards men, not women, men. You see, men can come home and beat their wives and not have to worry about it, rape their neighbor's wife. They don't care. It's okay because this here fake god Allah, he was alive not long ago. His grandson was just killed in one of those bombings, like I said in the first part of the videos. Now, not only was he was he alive not long ago, you figure it out. He was convicted, child molestation, child rape, murder, crimes, other crimes, and he must have had his hand in writing this here book where they named him, or he named himself as ruler, and he brainwashed these other idiots into believing his law or his words were the way it was supposed to be, when it's not. And he doesn't care about women. That's why it's not really about women. This is why I do not like Muslim men, and I feel sorry for the Muslim women, because I'm going to put those pictures up here. And it was in the Toronto papers, a book announcing how to beat your wife. It was what do you call that, a Muslim wedding gift or something like that, a book for newlywed Muslims, how to beat your wife, and it was sold at that stupid bookstore in Toronto. I'll put that all up there in this video. Don't worry, I'll put it up here when I'm talking about it. Then there was the fact of the idiot that wanted to abolish rape from the criminal code. Now that guy should have been shot. He wanted to come in and do seminars. He wanted to make money while trying to do this other shit about taking rape off the books. That guy should have been shot. He should have been led out to somewhere in the middle of nowhere, dropped down, shot, and left, where nobody's going to find him again. Maybe in 100 years they'll find some bones. That's it. That's what should have happened to him. Now, so I've already explained about the new terrorist who's suing Canada. And yes, it was in the Canadian Free Press. So Don't worry about that. You know it's true. Just like you know that's true about that when you're doing that interview and that one that was either a terrorist or affiliated with terrorists walked into the video between you or behind you and the reporter. And the only one that really seen him was the camera guy. And then later on, you finally announced or admitted that, yeah, he was there. If he had a gun or a knife or a suicide vest on, you wouldn't be here right now if he had one. You see, because you opened the floodgates and you let these fuckers in. Now, you're letting them in across the border. At first, you had them in tents. Now it got cold, so you put them in trailers. You see, you got your lips on their asses again. You must really love the smell of their asses or the taste of their asses, because you keep your lips glued right to them. And I'll tell you this on top of that. You're worrying about them, the cold, not worrying about the homeless on the street. You're not worrying about vets who may not have enough to pay their hydro. You're not worried about disabled people who may not have enough to pay their hydro. Excuse me, don't your own people come before others? It's like if you're starving, your family's starving, and you come across a fresh kill, or you shoot something fresh, or you're fishing and catch something. Do you give it to your neighbors because they're hungry too, or do you give it to your own kids, your own people? You give it to your own first. Not you. You give it to everybody else. You keep giving them immigrants your tongue up their ass, and hey, you can enjoy it all you want and enjoy whatever taste you're tasting. If it's curry flavored, then enjoy it. You maybe try sticking your head up a camel's ass, you stupid idiot. Now you see, there's that other terrorist who's suing Canada, which I've showed a picture already of him, and now you try not to admit it, but you keep it hidden out of sight. I don't know why, because it's true. You know it is. And now I'm sitting there wondering why you're doing all this for these immigrants. And out of those immigrants that are walking across the border, let's talk about that for a second. They're walking across the border. Yes, okay, somebody is trying to scan them and check to see if they're okay to come into Canada. And some of them are. Okay, that's all and good. Now there's about 1,000 that weren't legal or we didn't want in Canada. But hey, did you put them in jail to keep an eye on them? No. What'd you do? You let them go free. Their own country didn't want them, so you keep them here and let them be free. So now they can do all the crimes they want. And what are you going to do about it? You don't even know where they are, so you can't say, oh, we're going to arrest them. We're going to take them into custody. No, you can't, because you don't even know where they are. That's how stupid you are. Justin Truedummy, living up to your TruDummy name. Now, I don't care if their country didn't like them, want them back or nothing. You should put them on a plane right away and got them the hell out. Drop them out of a parachute. Land somewhere and put them on the desert. Who cares? Don't even land. Just throw them out of the plane. It's good enough. Give them a chute. If not, if you can't give them a chute, give them a glad baggie. Tell them to open it up as they're falling down. Who cares? I'm not worried about them. They weren't worried about anybody that their terrorist asses were attacking. Nah. So don't worry about that. They don't think of other people. Don't think about them. So this is part 2. I've already mentioned about how I feel sorry for the Muslim women, don't like Muslim men, how Islam is a fake religion, a fake prophet, about terrorists that you try to hide. You tried to hide the one, kept him hidden for 6 to 8 months, the one that walked in that when you were doing the interview. And then this other one, there's one blurb about him suing Canada. And he's an old, he was also in what's that name of that jail that Omar idiot was in? Same jail he was in, and now he's suing Canada. See, you opened the doors for him because you gave Omar $10.5 million. And now this guy's seen you do it, and he's going, I'm going for the same thing. And he's going to have his tongue up my ass, and he's going to give it to me. So you're going to give taxpayer dollars to another terrorist. So you will not be elected. You're not getting my vote ever again for anything. If you were being voted for dog catcher, I wouldn't give you a vote. You're an idiot. You are Justin Truedummy. They say your dad was the best prime minister in Canada. There was real good things with your dad, yes, I will admit that, but there were some bad things, and you following those bad traits. You got the floodgates, and you opened the floodgates. He opened the floodgates too. And you just following in his footsteps, are you? What only difference is, the ones he was letting in were not terrorists. The one that you're letting in are. Think about that one, stupid. Now, what am I going to say now? Talked about all that other stuff there. So you don't care about your own people. You've proven that. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's back that truck up. I got to back that one up because now, after years of people suffering in poverty, now you're putting into motion some plans or something to help those less fortunate. And you're eventually going to start, maybe next year, helping the Native Americans, the Canadian Indians. And that's not right either, because they've suffered a long time too. And the homeless people. And you guys aren't doing shit about the fentanyl thing. People want to set things up so they can help people with the overdoses, and you keep shutting those things down or won't give them permits to let them do that shit. You won't give them spaces to do it. They got to put a tent up here and there, but then you tell them they can't do that. They can't have the heat in there. This and that. You're an idiot. But yet you'll give the immigrants campers, but you won't give a camper to any of the homeless or anybody trying to help use for the fentanyl overdose people. You won't give them a camper. No. Why is that? Because you're an idiot. You are a complete idiot. You don't help your own people. No veterans get help. No disabled people. No senior people. No people on the street. OW people don't really get help either. In fact, if I want to talk about OW, you even announced or admitted that the immigrants get more money than OW people do. You give them more to start off with because they got to buy all this winter shit. Well, hey, how do you know the people that are on OW or on the street or whatever, how do you know they don't need to buy something to keep warm? You don't. But you don't care. Why is that? Because they're your people. You want to make other people happy, but not your own people. So you're an idiot. Now, and you also got your lips really tight on the immigrant asses, but you also have your tongue wrapped so tightly around some of your friends' colons, it's unbelievable. Some are hiding money. Oh yeah, your ministry, don't tell me, the Minister of Finance, don't tell me he did not know that the tax change was coming and that it was going to affect his money. That's why he got rid of his stocks a day or two before the tax credit, whatever, took place. He knew it was happening. He knew it was coming. Don't say he didn't. Don't say it was an insider trader. He ripped everybody off. He knew it. He needs a bullet in the head. He does. He needs to have his ass fired. But no, your tongue is so far up his ass, wrapped around his colon. He's probably got a really shiny colon now because you've cleaned it real clean, don't you? Didn't you? I bet his proctologist will send you $5 in the mail. I'm going to end this video here because I'm going to go on to something else. I got to go down to the provincial level. I'm done dealing with your dumbass, and I hope the message gets out about you, and the truth about you is contained in these videos about the shit that you do and the shit that you don't do. The shit that you do for the immigrants, but the shit that you don't do for your own people. It's all in there, and you let your friends get away with shit. So deal with that. That's all I can say is deal with it, idiot. Goodbye, Justin Truedummy. I will not vote for you, and never again will I ever vote for you. In fact, I didn't vote for you the first time around. And that's that. And the way you treat your own people, you just sunk yourself. You know, there's an old saying, when you're digging a hole and you're throwing the dirt out of the hole, you stop digging when the dirt starts falling back on your head. You haven't stopped digging. You just keep tunneling and tunneling and tunneling, and you don't care. Why is that? Because you're Justin Truedummy. Goodbye, idiot.